The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Mid-Carolina Service Company.
Mid-Carolina Service Company is the first name to search for your residential or commercial HVAC needs in Lexington and surrounding areas.
Just go holler at Jason and Clint. They'll hook you up on the air conditioners, on the restaurant equipment, refrigerators, refrigeration, ice machine repair. They've been doing this for years. I know them cats forever.
Family owned and operated since 2006, they pride themselves in their quality work and customer relationships. Call 803-356-4153 or visit midcarolinaserviceco.com for a no obligation quote for service today.
The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by True Brilliance Entertainment.
True Brilliance is a production, promotions, and management company dedicated to connecting artists and producers across the Carolinas to music industry professionals.
Several of their clients have placements both domestic and internationally as a result of their services.
Are you an artist or producer looking to build meaningful relationships within the music industry? Then True Brilliance is for you. Check them out at paramilitary.com. That's spelled P-A-I-R-A military.com.
This episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Bob's. Bob's is a Columbia-based retailer of over 100 Black-owned products from 20 Black-owned businesses. Bob's offers a wide range of items from household cleaning, cosmetics, and everything in between. With every visit to Bob's, you support Black-owned businesses, giving them the opportunity to grow and establish connections with our community. Bob's is located inside the Noma warehouse at 2222 Sumter Street in Columbia, South Carolina. Visit their website, weshopbobs.com for in-store pickup or to find out more. Bob's can also be found via social media on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at weshopbobs. When you stop by, tell them the Hilltop Glove sent you. Bob's brings quality Black brands to the Columbia community. The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Red Rooster Sports Bar and Grill. Red Rooster is your neighborhood bar and grill serving the best wings, burgers, and baskets in the Met.
Like the amazing food, the bar is always on tap, and there's plenty of screens to watch the big game. Red Rooster is the Midland's premier meetup spot for local car and bike clubs, fraternities, and sororities.
Staff is dedicated to accommodating all kinds of parties and events. If you're looking to catch a game, have a bite, and a drink, look no further than the Red Rooster.
Red Rooster is located at 7500 Wilson Boulevard, Columbia, South Carolina. For more information, visit redroostersportsbar.com or visit them on Facebook and Instagram at Red Rooster Sports Bar. Go where the winners go.
Welcome to the Hilltop Glove Podcast.
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 Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Miss ReeCee Raps. ReeCee is a musical artist from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, currently located in Charlotte, North Carolina. She was voted Female Hip Hop Artist of the Year in Charlotte in the 12th and 13th annual Queen City Awards. With her being a one of a kind on and off the stage, ReeCee has a unique retro flow with a new age twist like none other before. She's goofy, genuine, and not afraid to be herself. Since launching her career in 2018, she has performed on hundreds of stages, which has led to her being named one of the hardest working artists in her market. ReeCee has performed at the NBA's first music industry night with the Charlotte Hornets, Speed Street Festival, North Carolina Soulful Vegan Fest, and has opened up for Devin the Dude. She often gets compared to artists like Left Eye, Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu, and more. But she is truly in a lane of her own. She has been performing with her brand Dope, Diary of a Pothead, since 2019, landing several gigs throughout the year. ReeCee recently started her event company, Dope Events, where she curated artistic events like dope concerts and jam sessions. Her recent EP, Dope, is now available on all streaming platforms. Thank you for joining us today. How you doing, Miss ReeCee Raps?
I'm good. I'm doing really good. It's been a busy few weeks, but yeah, it's been a good thing. It's been successful. Yeah, I can't complain. How you doing?
Man, I'm excellent today. Myself, my co-host Tamaya,
Yes,
Skip,
hello.
and Mike, we are glad to have you with us.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's
Excellent.
definitely good timing.
Perfect. Well, just to start off first, we always like to ask our guests, just so our audience has a little bit more understanding about your background and where you're coming from. If you could just tell us a little bit about your childhood and what it was like growing up.
Yeah, I'm the youngest of 5 to 6.
Ooh, big family. Big family.
I got 3 brothers, 3 sisters, 1 passed, but yeah, it's kind of difficult to say what exactly how many. But yeah, I'm the youngest, so I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I started out just going to school, regular stuff, but I actually started out performing in my granddad's group called the Unspeakables.
Okay.
So it's a lip syncing group. So I'll start performing with him.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, it's a lip syncing group. It started with like Chipmunk songs and He's Dave and like me, my brother, and then like another girl. We were the Chipmunks. And that was my first performance, like 4. And I got that on video, everything. So it's on my page somewhere. But then it moved to like me being a member of the group. I was the youngest member. I was the only one of my siblings that was the actual member of the group. It was me and my mom that were members, and some of my uncles and the other people, my granddad knew. It was about 20 members of the group. And I was doing that from when I was like 5 until when I moved from Pittsburgh when I was almost 13. That really started me out performing in music, and I would perform everything from Alvin and Chipmunks, Pointer Sisters, Patti LaBelle, all types of different songs. Just like my granddad would give me, I would rehearse the songs. We would have rehearsal every week. I eventually was like, yeah, I deserve to get paid like everybody else.
It's like, yo, we thought we had some free labor.
When I found out other people were getting paid, it was like, hold up. I thought we were just doing this for the joy.
You were doing it for joy.
I was, but he started paying me for it too. So this was my first.
I'm the one still in the record.
I was doing 3 songs and shows, outfit changes, and everybody else. Like, coming to all the rehearsals, people would be missing rehearsals sometimes. I'm like, no, I'm here.
Pause.
It's good that I didn't have no bills or anything. And
So ReeCee, we got a quick question. Okay, I know. So so you were doing lip sync performing, right? How do you rehearse for lip sync perform? Is it more or less
same way you do every morning in the car?
Yeah, but like
my granddad was real particular about
I
how
believe
he wanted
it. They had costume changes.
About how he wanted his shows. We used to make fun of him because it's like you want us to do a hand motion for every word.
Right.
He was real.
That's old school. So you learn the performance aspects like first. First off, people would think we actually were singing a lot of the time.
That's how good it was. Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, and they did festivals. Like this was something that was birthed before I was even born.
It was
like,
a family thing. Yeah.
Wow.
And they were in the papers and stuff, like in the Regatta festivals, which is a big festival in Pittsburgh. So I just was the kid member that was like, yeah,
you're Michael Jackson, right? You're Michael Jackson. They're like, yo, Mike Jack, come here. You sing for us real quick.
Yeah, but I was a singer. But I actually did like to sing in private, like at that point. But I had wanted to be a singer as a kid, like before I went through puberty and stuff. And I've always been writing. Just been a writer. I've written anything from like poems to like little songs. I think I wrote my first song when I was like in 4th or 5th grade.
Wow.
I was in 5th grade. So I wasn't writing them consistently, but I did write 2 songs that year. So it was like, but it was it was just trivial things that a kid would write about the first song. But
life, school,
it's just,
friends.
Yeah, first one was like, my dad was going to the store and I wanted some Cheetos. So I wrote a whole song like,
that's a hit
like
record.
I don't want Fritos, Doritos, I want me some Cheetos.
Okay. ReeCee, you ain't normal. You know this, right? You know you are not normal. Which is so cool. You're the first person I think we've ever spoke to that has been performing from that young of an age with older people. This is, and we were teasing you about Michael Jackson's because normally that's something that they did back in the day. Like you would start off, like you said, at a young age, and you would go and you perform for adults.
Right. Yeah. It was like I was that kid. I was that like secret weapon. Like,
put her in the game, coach.
Put her in the game.
Yeah. And my granddad actually nicknamed me ReeCee, so that's why I use that name.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he was
Excellent
actually the
homage.
only one that called me that my whole life. And there was a big period of my life where I didn't do any of this at all, and I was just living like a normal person. So it's funny that you say that I'm not, because I felt that, but then you let society like get in your head and construct, and you start feeling like you're average, and then you start doing average things and not walking in your true self. So that's what I was doing for a long time until I moved to Charlotte. So from when I moved from Pittsburgh, there was a period of time until I moved, like I was moving around and stuff, but I was just like doing regular stuff. And then when I started getting back into it, I realized, this has always been a part of me. Yeah. And that was all prep to where I just picked up where I left off.
I could tell that she was a writer just by listening to your last couple of songs on Spotify. I was like, her flow is like insane. Yeah. She's been writing for a long time. Like, it just flows off of her effortlessly. So congratulations on mastering that.
Thank you. I'm still in the process of mastering. I feel like, do you ever really master your craft in a way? It's always, you can always do better, I feel. Or just have different versions. Yeah.
You definitely have put in 10,000 hours, though.
The 10,000 hours.
You definitely have put. And you know what's cool about it? It's almost like you were in a shadow boxing school, and you were just working on it. Because look, I'm gonna tell you, especially as a young person, you don't get performance training like that anymore. They don't do A&R where they bring you in and teach you how to properly move on the stage and get presence. I definitely have to come see you in person now. I got to see you perform in person. Like, I've heard you, like I said, listen to your music online and whatnot, but I definitely need to come see you in the flesh.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience. And I had to relearn how to perform when I started performing again, because I was like a closet talent haver for a while. And then so when I finally stepped out and started like recording in 2018 and pursuing music, I didn't want to look like I just started, because I felt like I wasted so much time like doing it. I performed like over 100 times those first 4 months of performing my own original music for the first time.
Whoa.
And so just so I can, and then I started performing with bands in 2019. That's a whole nother experience, seeing me with a live band. So
you're dedicated.
ReeCee,
what's your sign? What's your sign,
ReeCee?
What y'all think it is?
I think you're a Virgo.
Don't say it.
Virgo? Okay.
Oh.
What else y'all think? Guess.
You're Aries.
What else you think?
An Aries.
That's the first one. I already.
Finally.
Is that really the first Aries we've had on the show?
There's
no way.
I'm trying to tell you.
We've
asked. You're the first one.
He said it so confidently, though.
Yeah.
It was like, you're an Aries.
I already knew. I was smelling her.
You are.
You're the only people that sit there and practice stuff like the way that you're talking about, like the reps that you were getting in, man, the preparation. What was part of the reason for that preparation? I know I do want to ask you some more about your influences, but that preparation, was that because you weren't as confident in what you were doing as you initially thought you were, or because you knew from your past that you needed to put in reps?
I just am very, like, when it came to even, because my granddad kind of set that structured practice like early on, but I like that he had that routine. But when it came to doing my own stuff, it was a different approach, because I was terrified to mess up in front of people. Like, I did not want to mess up. So I'm like, if I don't want to mess up, I have to practice. I'm in my living room, like, I'm getting this right. I'm hitting every word, because I first performed The Diary of a Piehead. That's the first original song I ever performed. And I was like, I got it. And I still got video of that performance. It was at Reds at 28 Release Therapy. They do an open mic every Wednesday. And they still do it. It's been running for 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah, you're sharp, ReeCee. You remember times and dates too.
Yeah, that was Red.
Diary of a Pothead. You got a memory like that. Come on now.
It's not so much. Yeah, it was more about the diary than it was about the pothead.
I like to know.
Yeah, it was something that I had wrote when I was actually 19. Diary of a Piehead was actually something I wrote with no beat when I was 19. It was all straight through, and it didn't have no hook or nothing, no chorus. And I actually added a chorus like 5 years later. Yeah, and then so it's kind of a song that doesn't necessarily all the way resonate with where I am today, but it is a song that kind of encapsulates such a moment in time that in so many different sides of my artistry that if I don't perform that song, I feel weird. I feel like, man, I should have did the very fire. But even though it's like I have more songs now, and I've definitely moved in so many different areas with my artistry, and I'm really excited to share those things instead of just like holding on to it. Like different sides that I haven't heard that is older too, that I'm still dropping, that really is good to finally start dropping again compared to before, because it was a long time where Diary of Pia was my only EP. I recently dropped another EP in January, but it's only on YouTube. And my website is called Compounded Progression. It's
there we go.
Okay.
It's that's just something for the people. But then I am dropping again soon on all platforms, which is a whole nother vibe from that. So I'm really gonna show people that you don't really. Everybody, they hear a few songs and they think, okay, this is what type of artist you are. And that's really not what I am at all. All of that and none of that.
And more. Yeah, especially when you put in that kind of time and that kind of work in your art, like you have to evolve. You can't do 100 shows a year and not evolve through that process.
You're going to. Yeah, naturally.
Yeah, when you put out I definitely slowed down on shows. Once I got to a certain point, it was like, all right, you don't want to be doing so many shows in your own market. You move around and stuff too. So yeah, it's like, it's the way that I've just learned to navigate from knowing nothing about pursuing this in 2018, not knowing nobody that's really done it. And I've never seen nobody really even put follow through a lot of times in my family when it comes to something creative, besides my grandfather.
That's what I was about to, yes.
Yeah, so that, and I didn't realize how many parallels there were between what he's doing, what he was doing, and organizing people, but also he was in the shows too. So he's a performer too. So he's doing all types of stuff and performing all types of songs and stuff like that. And have group songs, you got solos and just all types. We would do a lot. So props, all of that. Your skits, we all on film and stuff. I have a lot of videos of this too. So it's like he was really like ahead of his time. Now they lip sync battle and stuff like that. So it's just really cool to see. You got people paid shows to lip sync. You brought so many people joy because we were going to nursing homes, we was going to churches, we was going to doing all. It just brought a lot of people joy. They was doing private parties and all types of stuff. I see what I'm doing now with dope events and building something, like following through with something. I see you do that first. So yeah. That
is a big thing. And I know part of our podcast is explaining to people, like trying to figure out as millennials how to adult properly. And one of those things is follow through and completion of tasks and whatnot. And it's very hard to do in this distraction age.
It is very difficult. It's certain stuff that I could do really well. And I'm realizing that I'm very hard on myself for the things that I'm not doing. But then I'm realizing it might not be for me to do. It might be for me to delegate and for someone else. And why not just focus on my strengths instead of spreading myself so thin to where I can't even actually perform at my highest capacity. If I could just focus on what I enjoy and delegate the rest, it can make a bigger outcome. So that's part of who I am. It's like you want to have control, but then it's like you have too much control. Sometimes you gotta
but that's pretty cool to that at a young age, because a lot of people try to do things themselves and they burn out.
You've already seen the depth that it takes to put on a show.
Yeah,
and book all your gigs and all of that stuff. You know that it's a whole business in and of itself, even before you start the creativity aspects.
And like, but starting out, my mindset about this has changed completely. Like, I was like, there's some early interviews of me. I'm like, yeah, I want to be the first female rapper on Dreamville. I want to be signed. I used to think someone was just going to find Diary of Pia. That'd be my first sign job. I get discovered.
It's the story we saw growing up on the VH1 specials.
It is.
Yeah, it's lit. Like, someone's going to find me off my talent and I'm going to get put on. I'm going to get my big break. And it just didn't work like that. And I realized that early on that it's not just going to work like that. And people had come along early on and you'd be like, oh, this was meant to me. And it'd be like, yo, it's some BS. And it's like, okay. And I realized early on that I'm not going to wait on people to make some stuff happen for me and get me type. I've been able to build my own, and not rocket science. I see what comes back. I see what goes in. It all depends on what you want to focus on. Anything you focus on will thrive. And it depends on what you focus on. Got to be in the same vein of what your bigger goal is. I feel like, so as long as it as long as it overlaps, you know what I'm saying? Or it's like that Venn diagram, and it's like, all right, this is mutually beneficial to my artistry career. Throwing events is beneficial for me as an artist.
Yeah.
And it just makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I could throw events and I perform at those events that I throw and I book it. That's a paid show. So it's like, I implement, I curate it, I put the talent, I use my resources because I know so many artists. Just It's no deficit of talent here. There's a lot of talent here. It's a deficit of organization. It's a deficit
Say that again. There's a deficit of what?
Organization. Yeah.
That seems to be a theme we've come across in the creative community.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the great organizations out there.
Yeah.
But there are great organizations, and then we got to build them, though.
Right.
Yeah.
So as a female, I have a question. How did you become confident in such a male-dominated industry, and like what sets you apart from other female artists? Because this day and age, females are like, they're rapping like they are the men. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. For me, I look at it like this. I feel like people are very like wrapped up into gender roles.
Yeah.
I look at it as everything is balanced, and we do have because I am a female, there are certain things that naturally a female is going to have. It's feminine, but I look at myself as a being first.
Yeah.
Like,
there you go.
rather than I am a woman first. I think some people, and there's nothing wrong with that. And maybe that will change in the future of where I am mentally now, it's just like I look at myself as a being first, because I feel like this is just who I am in this realm at this moment. So,
our souls have bodies.
It's like I happen to be this in this realm. Yeah, I'm experiencing this experience, but I am a being, and I'm not even like just bound to this earth. So it's like when I make music, it's about more just general themes of my life, rather than just, okay, I'm a woman first, or I'm going to rap about being a woman. And I might do that one day, but I haven't done that yet. It's just, my problems really don't lie
within
or
it.
my, and I really rap to express myself, like, but I'm going to rap about stuff that other women can relate to because I'm a woman. Yeah. You know, but it depends on what theme, because Queen of Hearts, what I'm dropping, it's a breakup relationship project, and it's wrong, and a lot of women will be able to relate to that, but I'm sure a lot of men will be able to relate maybe too, but from the other aspect, depending on who they are. But I just feel like I'm just a person first, and my raps are unisex. Like a dude could rap it and change any word from she to he, and it would still make sense. I feel like it's just because you're a female rapper don't mean you have to rap about being a female all the time. And you just gotta, or rap about, I don't know, it's the lane for everything. I just feel like there's not balance now.
But you're right, like dudes don't go around rapping about being a dude. Like
good point. You rap about the actions that you do as it being.
Right, and it might be because you're a dude, but you don't. Yeah.
Do you know who breaks this mold?
Male rapper. They don't say male rapper.
Nah.
How do you feel being a male rapper?
Yeah,
you know, or hello, I've had people recently message like the dope page, hey, I'm a female rapper out of here, blah, 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 blah. But I'm a female. I can see you're a female.
Yeah, I gotta alert you to the fact.
I'm just a rapper, just like, and it's like, just because I'm a rapper that happens to be a female, but there's pros to cons to it, and I always say it's easier to get seen, it's harder to get hurt.
Oh yeah.
You're a female rapper. Now it's like there's this whole stigma with being a female rapper. They immediately think I'm rapping about my private area.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Do you know
that's
who
exactly
breaks
what
that
I'm saying.
mold though? And this is where I was going with this, thinking in this type of vein, is like Missy Elliott.
Yeah.
She breaks that mold. You don't, look, man, I've been rapping Missy's full verses since I've been a child. Even every part, I don't care. I never even switched it over from the female part to the male part. I just rap it straight. You know why? Because it's fly.
Yeah, and that's Missy, Lauren.
Yeah. They break the mold. Come on.
No Name. It's like a lot of people that break the mold, but it doesn't matter because they're not the majority. That's not what people are mainly talking about. People are mainly, it's like, it's weird, the stuff that, it's like people would rather comment on a video that they don't like about how they dislike it. Or sometimes I'll go to like people comments, like Glorilla comments on YouTube, and there'll be people in the comments like, oh, this is terrible. This is what blah, blah, blah. It's terrible. Female rap, this is sad. This is the reason why we are where we are. But don't you understand you building that algorithm?
This portion of the podcast is brought to you by Lynx Recording Studio.
Lynx is a premier audio and video recording studio in the greater Charleston area with 4 completely different booths, multiple peripherals, and 4 producers. They have the ability to service all facets of audio and video creativity.
If you need to record a song, a podcast, create a demo, or even take headshots and complete drops for Hollywood film, they've done it.
Call them at 843-879-9386 or find them online at lynxrecordingstudios.com. That's Lynx, Lynx, recordingstudios.com.
Another comment. Yeah. So you're promoting.
Yeah.
You rather.
Yeah.
It would be better positive reinforcement behind somebody that you believe in would go further than you commenting on this person how you don't like them. So it's like you rather share something dumb on the internet than someone that you really feel like has talent and actually tell somebody, hey, this person is great. When you come across these people, what are you doing to spread the word?
Yep.
And word of mouth is more powerful than anything. When's the last time you put somebody up on a new artist that you really, it's not like that, or that really breaks the mold? So when we find these people, what are we doing to uplift them? Because a lot of times it be feeling like we out here alone and this is not what y'all want to hear. And I know that there's a market for it and I'm finding it. And I'm grateful for every person that I'm finding along the way. And that's finding me, because I always say you can't blame. I don't always say that. I put it in a rap last year. And I was like,
Let's say it now.
It was like, can't blame somebody sleeping on what they ain't seen. So it's like, I can't blame people for sleeping on the artists that are really like doing it. But you don't even know I exist. A lot of times it comes down to marketing too. So it's like, I'm gonna just have to market it differently because I'm not what everybody else is, but I'm building a strong foundation. But I am stereotyped because I'm a female, or some people don't even think I'm a rapper. I'm stereotyped because of how I look.
Yeah.
How you
they
present.
think I'm a singer. So it's just different things, just being a female, or what you sing, or all right, even if I say, hey, I'm ReeCee Raps, what do you do? Sing?
Bro,
Okay.
I just said
name.
ReeCee Raps. Duh. Like,
speaking of,
but you sing hooks too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of creating your brand,
I do sing though, but it's like,
oh Lord. Wait, question.
Singing's fun.
You do singing though?
I do sing.
All right, that's what I was about to say. Yeah. And go ahead.
That's not what I do at the forefront. I'm about to catch me singing the national anthem game.
At the football game. Speaking of which, like
I might perform in the halftime and sing one of my songs. I ain't doing no covers or nothing like that.
Speaking of creating your brand, and we were just talking about the fact that you are like literally, especially as a female in hip hop, in that space, you're trying to take your music and you want to make sure that you're honest and true to yourself and what you're doing. How did you, all right, first of all, I just want to have an understanding of your mind behind this. How did you come up with the name of your brand, first of all, and what are some of the hardships that you faced in creating this and using this as a platform to fuel your business?
Okay, so the name of my brand, you're talking about Dope Events?
Man.
Okay, so Dope started from that rap/poem I wrote when I was 19. I ended it like the Diary of a Piehead. I dropped it on YouTube and caught it and rapped over the Dirt Off Your Shoulders instrumental. That was the last video I dropped on YouTube before I was in a long relationship for 4 years and didn't do anything musically before I moved to Charlotte. It was abusive and stuff like that. Diary of a Piehead was the last video I dropped, and eventually I took all my videos down off of YouTube. I was 19. I was probably like 6 months into actually rapping and posting videos and stuff. I'm rapping publicly and actually, so that kind of was, but then I came up with that hook, the Diary of a Piehead. It was my second studio session. I recorded it, added it all together, and that was the first song I dropped. And that was the first EP I dropped, Diary of a Piehead. But because I was pushing that song so much, I would be like, what song should I perform tonight? Diary of a Piehead or Gotta Have It? Those are 2 songs I had out my first year. And somebody, I don't know, I need to find this post because I need to credit this person. Somebody like abbreviated it like DOAP. instead of spelling out the whole thing, because I always spelled it all out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, that spells dope. DOAP. And I never realized that until that moment someone commented on Instagram and stuff. And this was my first year on Instagram, 2018. I didn't have social media, nothing before pursuing this.
Quick.
Yeah, I had a Facebook, but it was deactivated and stuff, like just a personal one. But yeah, I never had Instagram or nothing. But it was like I grew fast when I joined and everything because I was doing a lot. But it was like I'm forced to do it now that I'm pursuing music. Now I finally got to get an Instagram.
Yep.
But yeah, but dope. So then I named the project Diary of Piehead EP, but on the EP it says the Dope EP. But then it got to where anytime I said dope, I think the last time I spelled dope regular, it was like 2019. So
it's a complete
I don't even like
brand.
even if I say, yo, this is dope, and you don't know nothing about that, I'm gonna spell it that way. Like people be doing that to me too. If they're saying dope to me, they'll be like, oh, that was super dope. But even if we're not talking about dope events, they'll know to say it. Some people know to say it to me and spell it in a different way. But so it just became, that's just how I spell dope. And that's just how I spell it. And everybody say you're dope. That's like what a lot of dope is used as I don't know how to explain this, but I like it. Yeah. So you're dope. It's like an easy thing to say. So, but if I really mean it though, you're dope. But I get that a lot. So since I am dope, I just might as well spell it my way. So then when I've been doing events since 2019, just under different, like I'll partner with someone. I partner with the girl that does Trap and Shop. We used to do open mics, and then her name is Chandra. We used to do open mics together. I've done a bunch of events, but Dope Events was my first, besides my jam sessions, those were my first events just with me on the board, making decisions and building it. And it was just really successful from the beginning. It was like, why not just call it Dope Events?
Exactly.
And just keep going with the Dope brand. And people know Dope. I've been pushing this EP for 3 years because it's timeless. And so people know Dope. So why not? These Dope Events, it was something I knew I could get all the domains for. And
very true. Very good point. When creating a business, finding a tagline or a trademark that you can use that will not interfere. So that
grab them URLs quick. $12 a year.
Really. Another question for you about your events, your event business, etc. And I know you were talking about you did partner with some folks to assist you when you first began. Are you still partnering with folks, and do you delegate certain tasks out? I know this is a question that our audience would like to hear someone answer that actually does this, so they can figure out how, why, and what do you need to set this stuff up? Do you do all this work by yourself?
Yes, partnering is cool. I like partnering. There's pros and cons to it. It's with anything. There's going to be pros and cons to everything. And there's pros and cons to doing it on your own. I can go the partnering route. Starting out, it's really good to partner with certain people that have a different crowd, and if they have different skills than you. So like when I first was partnering, me and Chandra did very different things. I'm hosting, I'm tapped in with artists. She's tapped in with artists too. She has her own network of people, and she's really tapped into vendors. She had a whole vendor platform, so she can handle all the whole vendors market. On top of that, she does graphics, so she's doing all the flyers. I don't got to outsource or do none of that. You know what I'm saying? So that makes sense for me to partner with somebody that can do the graphics, can handle all the vendors and organize that, so I'm not dealing with that. And like just certain things that can do organizationally while I'm more in the forefront hosting. Really, I was mainly hosting, performing, doing the ciphers, curating, booking the talent, communicating with the talent. So it really depends on what you want to do. But at the same time, you can also delegate. It depends on, because you got to split that. At the end of the day, you got to look at, is the partnership worth me splitting, or what percentage is worth splitting on the partnership? Because it doesn't always have to be 50-50, but a lot of times I was just splitting it evenly with people, and it was certain things that was being done that there were certain times I would partner not with this first person. There were certain times I would partner, say it's like with 3 other people. And only 2 of us are really doing a lot of the work. And one of us just got the venue, and it's, bro, I'm getting 25% for doing 150%. Like, that's not worth it for me. But then the part but then I'm not going to put in my full because not everybody else is.
Yeah.
And then we've got 4 people on the team. It's only 70 people here. I could get 200 on my own, just me being on the team, because I'm going to go 200% because I know I'm getting 100% of the profit. Like, it's just, you got to really be careful. And then sometimes you partner and you collaborate, and I'll let people, they got their own platform going on. And it's like, all right, we're going to just join together. I'm going to let you I'll get the venue. Because you're coming to my market, I'll get the venue and I'll partner with you. I'll book, but under your structure, and let you take the lead. You let someone take the lead sometimes, and then it's unorganized, and then that's your brand, that's name on it. So you can't, if you're going to partner with someone and someone come in and they're like, oh, I can do everything, we split it. You got to realize your brand is on that too. So you can't take the back seat sometimes when it comes to certain things. And if you're partnering, you gotta have input on that. So I'm learning. I'm more vetting when it comes to collaborations now, because I feel like I can just contract a lot of people than collaborate necessarily. But then I can say, all right, I want to bring you in the host. Here's what I'm going to pay you for this flat rate. That way I'll get paid regardless of what I bring to the door. But I know I'm going to knock it out the park because I don't have no choice.
Per usual.
It all falls on me. There's nobody else that's going to make it go. So doing the dope events and being the one that's the only one that's delegating, making decisions. It's like I was able to bring people in. I know Kitty Mo, she was doing not only hosting, but when we were doing the weeklies, I had her be my marketing assistant. She was on a retainer to be marketing assistant and host, and she was also helping me send out texts and coordinate the artists. So you can bring in people without necessarily doing percentages, without necessarily having a partner, where you still have your vision. Because there were certain times where, like, I first started out the open mic with COVID, that kind of stopped my open mics, and it was stopped on purpose because I think I was meant to do it underneath my own brand. I got like mad pages. Like, I got free open mic pages that got like over 1,000 followers. Like, I've been doing it, and other pages like that I built. I ran the social media for multiple pages, and it was more underneath each event had their own page.
Smart.
Open mic is what it was called. They had his own page. And that's still a page, but it was something that I was ready to bring back when COVID, but then my partner wasn't ready to bring it back. Never came back, because you can't just bring back stuff. So when you build stuff with people, have that in the contract as well. What is it like if I'm want to continue this, but you're not ready to?
Without you.
Who owns the brand for that event?
Yeah, it's like you could do it to where you get a forever percentage. Maybe I'll give you 20% for the remain because you helped birth this, but I'm doing everything. You're not having no hand in it. It's just residual or something like that. Or you just start something new. So that is, but 20% is not a good example.
We know what you mean, though. We know what you mean.
It depends on what it is. You might get 20% of McDonald's. They ain't getting nothing. But
or you just build something else. So I built stuff and I've left, and then I've seen stuff continue and stop and different things. So it's to have the paperwork right when you're talking on your intellectual property and you're bringing other people in.
It's
different when you're collaborating on an event and building an event idea together versus partnering sometimes, because you can partner with like in April, for example, I'm doing a collaboration with a Chicken and Backwoods in Miami on their tour stop. And basically it's going to be what they do blended with what we do. But I'm going to make it an open mic for us for dope events. So it's just going to be like a dope events meets Chicken and Backwoods Miami, and just blend those platforms in that way. But to where we both have our individual brand, we're just coming together.
Right.
I'm not just on your tour date, or you're not just on my tour date. It's like, this is a collab event. So it's
something
a lot of
that
ways
works both ways. Yeah.
You gotta you gotta be careful about who you collaborate with. You gotta make sure it works, and you're not just, and it makes sense that the effort you're going to put in is worth it. And the other people, everybody should have their own job, and they shouldn't overlap. They should have their own difference. Y'all shouldn't all be doing the same thing. I'm not going to collaborate with a bunch of artist rappers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to build.
That's a good point, though, because a lot of times when people say, be careful about who you work with, be careful about who you collaborate with, we're always thinking about like somebody trying to screw us over on the money. But it really, most of the time, is just somebody else, the way they do their work, not the way we do our work.
It's different. It's totally different.
That's what it was. And it was for some of the other events. I did some events in 2021. I collaborated, and it was a great thing that we were doing. But it was like, yo, I just can't. The way you work is, I don't work like that at all. And it's like, I like to have stuff as organized to certain points, and nonchalantness is no.
You sounding real Aries right now. You sounding real Aries right I like it though. I like it. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And I have a quick question for you. I know we're about to come up around that time, and I want to ask this because one of the biggest questions that we always talk about with our podcast is finding time to balance work and life. Now, you had a show last night, correct? All right. Now, I want to ask this because this is interesting, because you had to go from the show and then you're here with us today. We appreciate you for it. How do you find time to balance your work and life? And do you have any self-care routines that you can share with us?
Yeah, I've seen this question. I was like, I'm still in the process of balancing it. Honestly, it comes with how I work. I'm very like all or nothing when it comes to a lot of stuff. And so there'll be periods of time where I'm really just going. This has been a busy, really year so far. I've been to 2 conferences this year already. I just was in Cali for 8 days. I got back on Monday. Then I threw my single release party for my new single, Alibi, on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Part of that was singles release for single release, but for singles to release, I had a massage guy there.
Ooh. I saw that. I was wondering how did that night go? How did that night go?
It went really well. It was on Valentine's Day. I've been wanting to do this for years, and it was something that I put together last minute, and that was in collaboration with United Grind. Shout out to her, because sometimes the collaboration makes you do something that you would not have usually done. Like, I have this idea for years, because I collaborated last year on a Valentine's Day event too, Wine and Dine. And it's like, it helps you do things that you wouldn't normally do on your own. So it's just finding the right collaboration where people do different things. That's the best thing. But yeah, sorry, back to that. So we was I collaborated with her before we talked about it. And I'm like, well, I've been thinking about doing it, and we built it out and we executed it. And so that was helpful, and it was just really dope. He was giving massages, and we had munchies, private cater, collaborated with him to be there. It just was dope. It was dope. It was a good shout out to the Pisces Gallery, Black woman-owned space over there in Mount Holly. It's not too far. Definitely. It was just really dope. The energy was great. I had Poetically, Siren Water open up for me. They did great. It was R&B, poetry vibes. It was just love. But part of that was like, it's an event that I curated too. So it was stressful, like leading up to it, trying to promote 2 events while I'm in California, and then trying to post, and I'm 3 hours.
Do you sleep?
I actually do sleep, and I dream a lot. Like
that's good.
Sleep. That's part of my self-care.
I was about to say.
I do sleep, but sometimes I don't. Some weeks I don't. Not weeks, for weeks straight.
It sounds like your answer to this question is don't even try to balance it. Pour your whole self into it.
Yeah. So now here's how I balance it. Like, so sometimes it picks up to where it's like that. I had 2 events this week, went back from Cali, then interview today. I'm performing tonight, special guest at Hovis House. It's not announced, performing tonight. But then after this weekend, I've already declined shows for
I see.
I'm not
big release.
Those shows until April. Like, I'm not. I got a show April 1st and a show April. I got an hour set April 1st.
Where's that show at April 1st?
It's at a brewery.
In Charlotte?
I can show it 2 seconds. It's in Charlotte. It's an hour set. That's my next show that I'm doing. I'm not doing no shows or no events. It's at Legion. And I'm not doing no shows or no events until then. I can focus on other things. I think sometimes it's like being an entrepreneur, sometimes you're going to overwork yourself, but then it's just a season, and then you got to know when to retreat. Because I know I've been out for 3 months, dropping videos, going traveling, shooting, and I got still 3 videos ready to drop. So I can retreat for a couple months and build on these connections and follow up. As far as self-care, I just went to a Sync conference. Shout out to ASC Charlotte. I just got a grant to go to a conference in California. They funded my trip out there. I built a lot of connections in St. Licensing. I'm about to start focusing on getting my music and other people's music placed in TV and film. So that can be a good stream of income. Also, to where I'm just building these avenues. Events is an avenue. We're going on tour this year. So now it's like I'm going into a planning stage where I'm gonna just stay in the house and plan until my show and prepare and practice. And I'm dropping the EP. So just getting stuff ready behind the scenes for that. As far as self-care, I definitely get my sleep. And I want to implement more because I tried to get a massage the other day, but I was hosting. I was like 5 minutes.
Get one at your event.
Yeah, it's my event too, so I really didn't get to get a massage or nothing. But I did. It was like 5 minutes though, so it's like I'm gonna incorporate that more into it now that I can like breathe. So I'm looking forward to getting all this done this week. It's because I know I'll have time to just really go into back into learning, creating, and it's creation season again for me. So. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you saying that is creation season. Before we close out, I must ask you, what current projects are you working on and what can we expect from you in the future? With this being said, this is selfless and shameless promotional time. So make sure that you give us your information as well as your contacts and where our audience might be able to reach you.
Yeah, I got a lot of dope things coming up this year. It's really clear, looking pretty clear on what the path is. Definitely be on the lookout for new music. ASC Charlotte also funded the rollout for my next project, Cleaner Hearts. That is coming up. And this spring, be on the lookout. I just dropped the first single, Alibi. That's on all major platforms. I got about 19 other songs on all major platforms. Y'all could look me up. ReeCee Raps, ReeCee on everything. I just dropped a single with a couple of my friends, David D'Angelo, Mayday Poet, called Quarter Ounce. That's on all major platforms. I got my EP, Compounded Progression, just dropped on YouTube and my website and SoundCloud on the 1st of this year. On YouTube, every song on that project, all 6 songs have some type of visual out. So definitely check that out, whether it be a music video, lyric video. Some of them got 2 visuals out. So check that out. Shout out to Change Picasso, dopest videographer in the world. Definitely look for more stuff. Alibi videos dropping soon. Quarter Ounce videos dropping as well on YouTube. I got 2 more videos on the way. What to Do, upcoming second single that'll be dropping soon, and then my project Cleaner Hearts dropping this spring. But then Dope Events is going on tour. Dope Events is nominated for a Southern Entertainment Award industry event in the South, in the whole South of the year. So definitely vote for Dope Events until the end of March on southernentertainmentawards.com. It's the 20th annual, so we'll be in Nashville celebrating that. We're going to kick off our tour in Nashville and then go from there, starting in at the end of May. So definitely be on the lookout for the Dope Events tour. We going global. We dropping remixes. Pro Vibe got a remix, kind of like house remix to Pro Vibe on the way with Satin Sage. I got collaborations with other artists, new music on the way. And just follow me, ReeCeeRaps.com. Join my email list. Text me. I have a text line, and I send out everything through text. Any releases, performances, events, you can text me at 412-207-3755. And yeah, just Google me, just spell it right. The ReeCee Puss rap might pop up if you don't spell it right.
That is real. Yeah, they got a little rap.
Yeah, so that's not me. But yeah, but definitely check it out. Check out my music. But most importantly, if you like it, you hear this, share it with a friend verbally.
Yeah,
old school.
Be like, yo, I came across this really dope artist. You should check them out. Because people don't do that no more. And we find stuff on our algorithm. But
don't let the robots pick your art.
There you go.
For real. So yeah, tell a friend about what's going on, because we got a dope movement going on. Definitely be on the lookout. We doing riding camps. We doing all types of stuff. Like Dope Events is bigger than just indie concerts. So it's just an aspect of it. But yeah, I'm very blessed. I thank everybody. I appreciate all the people I've been able to even sit down and talk to. I appreciate y'all having me. It's been great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you for joining us today, ReeCee Raps. Thank you, Tom, taking time out of your Saturday to hang out with us. You're a busy person. I just want to say thank you from the Hilltop Glove podcast and our audience. I want to shout out to Maya, our host, Mike, Skip,
peace.
DJ and What. We want to thank you for joining us on this Saturday for another episode of Hilltop Glove podcast. We're going to sign out right now, but we want to tell everybody, be nice to somebody around you. Tell them that you love them. Peace.
That's it for today's episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast. Make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms. Also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Hilltop Glove.